What's going on, y'all? It's Gia, baby. And so I just wanted to do some like commentary on Ready to Love because it's honestly my first time watching the show, and I just kind of love it. It's just fun. Who doesn't like a good dating show? You know, and I kind of grew up listening to Nephew Tommy on the Steve Harvey morning show with my mom all the time on the radio station, like driving to school and stuff like that. So I don't know, he just seemed kind of fun. He's so greedy. Okay, so I want to start off by going through the clips, and y'all excuse me, okay? Like, the clips that I have is kind of bootleg, like the words don't match up with the mouth, but you're still gonna understand everything that's going on. Hopefully you watched it on TV before you're looking at commentary, so you don't get like spoiled or anything like that, any spoilers. So spoiler alert if you haven't watched it.
Yes, please. Why are you naked? I can never have a full conversation with Quentin without Janelle somewhere close lurking. Who you spoken for?
Absolutely.
Everybody else know that. Don't matter. So you done with Chris?
I'm down to one connection with Morier.
Thank you.
You still have other connections, so if you feel like you just want to not deal with that, then that's cool, and I will just go home.
Who are you not connected with?
It would be Sierra.
Jessica. We had a combative situation.
So yeah, there was a clip. Like, Quentin clearly likes the attention he gets from the other girls too. So he's one of those guys that strikes me as like, yeah, he wants to be in a loyal relationship, but then he also is just like, what's let me see, what's she doing? She making me feel a little way. He came out there, he's really confident in his body. Like, who doesn't want to work out that hard and like show it off a little, you know? So then he was like grilling and stuff, and the guys were like, man, you're naked, da 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 da. Like, they wasn't like really hating that hard, but they were just like making it was like funny. So then like Katarina comes out and she's like, Quentin, like, you're naked, oh my god. And he's like, yeah, this is how I cook, you know? And so she's just trying to get to know him. Like, everyone's supposed to get to know each other, like, because how a dating show works is like, if one connection is not working and this specific one, then you go to the next guy or you go to the next girl, and that's what the whole show has been about. It's just they put a bunch of fish in the sea, everyone can mingle around, no one's committed, no one's married in the bowl, like everyone can just talk to whoever. So Katarina, sorry, I'm getting all the names mixed up. Katarina goes over to him, they're talking. Janelle, yes, she has a short leash on Quentin because in her mind she's like, this is my man, and these girls should know that. Like, there's nothing worse than a girl who is like homewrecker vibes, you know? So to her, that's kind of like her defense. Like, she feels like she has to protect their relationship right now, because it just seems like Quentin's not really doing that. He's not putting in that energy that she's putting in, where it's like, hey, this is me, no one talk to her, Janelle. Like, you know, sometimes he'll be like, this is my woman, but men get stuff a little easier. Women, we're really messy. Like, men are messy too, but like, y'all know what I mean. So then they kept talking at the grill. Then Janelle came out and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go check her now. And she was like, hey, what are you guys doing? And she was like, yeah, Katarina was like, yeah, pull up a chair to Janelle. And in Janelle's mind, she's like, of course I'm gonna pull up a chair, it's my man, like, you need permission to pull up a chair, not me. So then Katarina was like, she was just like, okay. So then Katarina goes, yeah, you can pull up a chair. She's like, I don't mind sharing. You don't have to share it because he's mine, and we're each other's, you know that. And baby, she like checked Katarina so quick, because then Katarina was like, okay, that's your man. She was like, does Quentin know that? And she was like, don't matter, he know it. Like, I'm sorry, I look so crazy. But that's kind of how she came off. Like, she came off like, in that moment, a different side of Janelle came out, and it was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was very like, it was giving very much The Conjuring. It was given very like possessed for a second, like of possession for him. And yeah, she was pissed. She was ready to like fight. I could tell Janelle is probably maybe not been in a lot of fights, but probably some fist fights, like to where she's just like fought over a guy before.
Jessica.
Like,
Sierra, please step forward. Sierra, the guys feel that your playful energy can be too much sometimes. Jessica, a lot of the guys feel that you are combative.
What you're not gonna do is call me combative.
Unfortunately, one of you just isn't ready to love.
No, it took me some time.
In this moment, the fellas feel that Sierra,
Yes.
you are no longer ready to love.
Say your goodbyes, Sierra.
Bye, y'all. I'm gonna miss you, girl. I just feel like everything happened for a reason. Bye. Some moments I probably should have been more serious with Maurier. It may have pushed him away. So I'm sad, but I know exactly what I want and what I need now.
things took a turn whenever he said, Sierra, some of the guys think you're too playful and your playful energy can be a little bit too much or something like that. And I think guys have a problem with when you're goofy, they kind of associate that with like, oh, she's kind of, they kind of associate that with unattractiveness. Like some guys' personalities really do click with that. I remember I had a guy one time, I was dating him, and it was like, I was like, okay, one and done, I'm not gonna hang out with him. Not even really dating, like we just went on like a second date or something like that, and he said something like, you're so much prettier or you're so much cuter when you're not laughing and smiling and being goofy and stuff. And I was like, so basically you're saying I'm attractive to you when I'm not having fun. And so for Sierra, I think she just needs to find someone who's cool with her funny side, who's cool with her goofy side, who doesn't look at it as a turnoff or she's too much, or because it doesn't even come off like loud or ghetto or anything like that either. It just kind of comes off as like she really just wants to laugh and have fun. It seems like she had a really tough relationship in her past where the guy was like, she was with her friends and the friends were like, Sierra is so funny, and her ex at the time was like, funny? He must have looked at her like bombastic side eye, like she's not really funny, you know? And he had just never saw that side of her because she wasn't comfortable to show that side to him. That's why he didn't see that side, because she just kind of probably felt like she would have been judged like she was in the show. So yeah, she was rocking that short hair, honey. And she was rocking the wigs too. She was rocking both of it, and some comments were like, oh, she needs to keep the wig off and this and that, but it's good to be versatile. Yes, she can rock her short hair, but maybe some of the guys don't like short hair, let them kind of get a glimpse of, hey, like, it just takes a few extensions. It just takes a wig. The wig just can be wigging, like, that's all it takes. So,
Thank you. Thanks, Tommy.
Girl! Balls tough, combative.
All the
Put them all on the
things.
table. You know.
Wow!
I am completely blindsided and turned off by the verbiage that was provided to me as feedback. One word in particular that really stuck out to me was combative. Sounds familiar. I really think it's important to know who said it, and I have my speculations of where this came from.
Woo!
going back to Jessica, things took a turn for the worse whenever Maria used the verbiage and said, most of the guys here think you're combative, which if you've been watching the show, you know there's only really one person who said she's combative, which is Chris. And if you saw the episode with his ex-girlfriend, she was really like,
Today, I am exploring nature.
Wouldn't mind another margarita.
How you feeling, man?
Why are we checking on Maurier? Let's check on Jessica.
I think we can check on both of them. They both need to be
We
checked
wanted
on.
her to be feminine energy. Y'all supposed to cover us,
Right.
right? That's what we've been saying from the beginning.
I am glad the power is back in our hands, because we need to start having some real conversations about who these guys truly are.
Jessica, how do you feel?
So in this space, I think it's best for me and my combative energy to just be quiet.
so then the sit down happens right after the elimination, and this is where it gets kind of you know, you start to see the real characters of the people on the show. So I don't like a man or a woman who doesn't, like, if they know that they did something that hurt someone, like maybe it wasn't wrong, but Jessica came out and Janelle was ready to fight. Like again, like Janelle is a very like fighter kind of person. So she was ready, like she even said it in the beginning. She's like, look, not that I'm trying to like bear Jessica's cross, but when you call a black woman particularly combative, like it sticks with us. And I think like black women, like we've probably been put in situations a lot where we can be combative, because sometimes we have a lot coming at us, but it's up to us to react a way that you know, it is a way that is peaceful. And you know, it says in the Bible to not have a lot of quarrels with people. So this goes for everybody, like quarrels, fighting. There's a way to solve stuff without fighting. So be at peace with all men, right? It's obviously hard to do that. So it's like, it's better to just have a way that's like, I guess, not combative with anybody, because you're going to be quick to be seen as the crazy girl, the mad black woman, or the crazy Karen, or like whatever it is. But the crazy guy, the man who can't hold his temper, like it goes both ways. So then she was like, whoever said this combativeness, like she was like, it just hurts that y'all said combative, to which Philip came out. He was like, this was not a y'all thing. And what pissed me off so much was like Chris, being as cowardly as he was that whole episode, was like, oh no, yeah, it wasn't a y'all thing, and no, it wasn't a y'all thing. Low key it was me, but I ain't gonna say it. Like it was just so shady. And then that's what pissed Marie off, because they're like, well, I don't know where Marie went. He wanted to get out of the situation because he was like, well, if the source is not gonna say it, then I'm not gonna be here to like pick up his cross either.
I'm trying to figure out, and listen, love y'all down, and I'm not picking up Jess's cross. But as a black woman, when we are constantly attacked, I'm trying to figure out how y'all were comfortable using that word.
It's not a y'all.
It's not a y'all.
That's not a y'all.
That's a very strong word.
And not to make it a matter of throwing anybody under the bus, but there's no consensus on the verbiage at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, then I'll deal with whomever said it. But
So then where it come from?
I know that Chris specifically feels that she's combative.
In the midst of one of our conversations, we had a combative situation. It seems like she was very, very combative and kind of argumentative.
But we also are not going to be a snitch to where we're going to tell and say, this person said it, so I don't really know what to do.
So you said you ain't say it, right?
I don't have an experience that comes off as combative.
In that moment, I was expecting the individual to step up and say, hey, I said it, this is the reason I said it, this is what happened. So I was struggling to be in the room to hear everyone being like, yo, I didn't do it.
So Maria gets up, you know, and just the way how Chris kept going around it about the bush, and you can tell he has a very strong professionalism about himself. Like he's in a professional setting with his real estate job, and or a developer. I'm not quite sure exactly what he does, but it's something along those lines. And it was just kind of frustrating because it was like, this is the moment where you come up and say, I called you combative, Jessica. I said it on a diary before. I told the homeboys, like, I've called you combative, but for him to keep lying to the girls and saying, I didn't say combative, when he definitely called her combative. And I saw people in the comments were like, he didn't say combative, like, he just said that the situation got combative, when literally it shows a flashback of his video diary of him saying, yeah, she got combative with me. So one thing I don't like is someone who carries a lie out too long, and then when you're caught in the lie, they want to lash out and be like, or they want to just cower around. And I think that's just so fake. Like, it's not manly. It has no sense of integrity for a woman or a man. So then,
I don't feel that combative is an accurate description of how I've shown up or dealt with anybody.
It's not. I don't know where Maria went, but I feel like what you said is correct.
It ain't even worth me even talking about it. Because, you know, we kind of know how each individual respond in certain situations. That's my 2 cents.
They all said that they did not say it, that this was not their experience, and it had not been their experience. But someone said it, because it didn't come out the blue. And I am pretty confident that this verbiage came from Chris, because this is how he talks. So I'm glad that I followed my gut earlier on and decided to disconnect from this individual. But I was also raised to respect the dead. So there's that.
so basically, Chris, it all ends on him saying, like, it ain't even worth me talking about it, because we all know how we react to stuff. And I was just kind of like, how are you gonna just dismiss that? Like, it is worth you talking about, because all you have to do is say, look, I was the one who said that you were combative. And how much more respect would the boys have had for Chris? How much more respect would the girls have had for him if he had just straight up been like, yeah, I called you combative? Like, not saying that he has to apologize for that, but maybe that's just the way that he received her in the moment. And it's not like, because when you look at his ex-girlfriend, right? You can't really see her being combative, because that's just how her whole like vibe, like, it was just like, so I'm in servitude. Yeah, that's how it was. Like, it was never like, I was in servitude, that's all it was. And like, da-da-da-da. And like, I just feel like I'm not even remembering the conversation that they had to where I could be like, yeah, she was being combative. And I'm not sure that they showed the conversation on film. Like, it probably was something they had like in private or something, but I could see Jessica being like disagreeing with Chris, and maybe Chris is just that, maybe that's his shortcoming of maybe being like sensitive when a woman disagrees with him on something. And maybe in his culture and in his way that he feels like the woman's supposed to always agree, like a very machismo kind of way of going about things. And I feel like maybe that's just what he's not used to. A girl being like strong in her own mind and being like, I don't want to agree with you. I don't agree, and I'm not going to agree. And I think that probably translated to him as combative. Moving on.
You can say sorry, but it doesn't matter anymore.
This is so cute. It's like a little frat house. I haven't been in here yet. How are y'all feeling? Y'all good?
Yeah, we okay. Better.
I was trying to check on Mario and make sure he was okay.
He in the shower.
Okay. I don't understand why we have to stay away from words that are offensive if they're true. If the guys feel like that she's combative in their interactions with her, then that's what the hell it is. She's combative. If you don't like the word, then change your attitude. There you are.
Yes, trying to come in here and
have a moment. Yeah.
You know.
So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of the girls like go towards Marie when they feel like they have no one else, and I feel like he's like their last resort in a way. Like, I know that sounds kind of messed up, but it's kind of true. Like, they kind of just like treat him as like the last resort kind of guy, because he's like their last connection, and they don't have anyone else that they could possibly connect with, and the people that they connected with don't want to connect with them anymore. So this is the scene. Yeah, Kat goes and checks on Marie, and kind of going back to the very first clip, like how Chris was like, so how you doing, Marie? Is it me? Like, or is Chris giving like sexual fluid vibes? You know, like your sexuality is completely up to you. There's nothing wrong. Like, if the guy is gay, it's just nice that if they're open about it. And I just think like that's what my problem is. Like, don't be gay and then like covering it up with a beard, or you know, like wearing your eyeliner and hiding behind your foundation and being like, no, I just need a woman who listens and like lets me be the man. And it's just like, well, we just need transparency. It seems like possibly he's not transparent about his sexuality. That also stems into who his personality is, and I could be wrong. He might not be gay. Like whatever. He might just be like likes to look really pretty and like to come off very polished, you know. But he has also certain qualities of a softer man, and that doesn't always mean that you're gay. So I also just think his character is kind of messed up, because like it seems like if you're lying about that, what else will you cover up and lie about? He seems like the kind of person who can get away with a side chick, and his girl won't even find out because he's so calm and collected and cool and non-combative, you know. Yeah, I don't like how he's not transparent about saying he said that she was combative, and also like it was just kind of also makes me feel like he's kind of misogynistic, because like why, like when Marie went to break it down to the girls, it just seems like you were like you had it out for Jessica, and it seems like you would never have it out for a guy. Like, oh, how are you, Marie? But like, who cares about the girls? Like, whatever. Like, how are you, Marie? Like, ooh, what you trying to do? Like, I don't know.
I'll just say I think you were very well composed. I've done 2 eliminations and they don't get easier, but I think you did a great job.
Appreciate it.
You know, I think it's really hard to give feedback to a connection of yours, but I think he did a great job. The more I get to know him, the more I like about him. I definitely feel like there could be something there. Well, I'm gonna leave y'all to your quarters. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna check up on him. We'll report back.
Have y'all some guy talk.
Yeah.
So, like with Kat, like she does strike me as like a girl's girl, and she really does strike me as that, because whenever she was with her friend, when you're supposed to bring your best friend to meet the guys, she brought her friend Allie, and who I've actually met before, and she did my photo shoot for me for one of my birthdays like a year ago or 2 years ago. Yeah, like she's really sweet, and she's really hardworking, very successful, and I feel like if you have a friend like that around, like that, then there's no way that you're kind of girl who's like, oh, I'm just trying to like fish around and home wreck and like mess with girls, men, and like call girls, and like, yeah. So I saw some comments that people were like, oh, she's pandering to the men, she's this and that, and it's like, I get that also, but maybe she's just like fighting for like women to just be different. And when she said maybe you're combative, Kat doesn't come across as a woman who is like gonna be combative with the man. Like maybe she might go back and forth with him, like she seems strong in that way, but she just doesn't seem like she has an attitude problem like Janelle and Jessica do. And I'm not gonna lie, like Janelle's attitude pisses me off. Like she's really beautiful, like I said, very articulate, but if you're talking about not having something stick to black women, then don't be a certain way that they stereotype us as. And I feel like when she was upset of saying like, oh, like we're not combative, but then again, it's like the whole show you've just kind of been like having like shade, like you've been throwing shade to the girls a lot, like, you know. And I just feel like her little attitude sometimes and the way she says stuff is very like snappy, and I just feel like, I'm not saying that she has to be fake and like kiss up to girls and kiss up to people who she's not cool with, but I just feel like I don't really think that she was combative to the men as much as she was to the women. And I think, like I said, being a mean girl is, I'd rather be combative with a man who I don't agree with than being like just an attitude with a bunch of girls just for no reason, because I'm a girl's girl. So.
Hey, friend.
Hey, boo.
I know Jess is a little bothered by all that has happened today. So I just want to check on her. I want to make sure she's good. I'm just going to bring her a little comfort ice.
Oh, do I get ice?
Listen, I figured that's the least I could do. And kind of listen to her and see how she's feeling right now.
For me, like, I'm very big on honesty.
Right.
I didn't care about being in the bottom.
Right.
Like, I'm not really upset about that. My thing was just when I polled the room and I asked each and every one of them, Did you say it? The only person who couldn't look me in my face was the person who I knew said it.
Right.
That's the part that burnt me up. Because if that's how you feel, then those are your experiences. You can have those.
Yeah.
That is fair.
You get to experience me however you want.
Fair.
Correct.
But when I ask you and you lie,
yeah,
now I have a problem with you.
We have two mishaps here. One, that the word was used, combative, and then two, that it was carried out.
Yeah.
So where do you feel about Marie right now?
I don't know. Like, I don't trust you.
Ooh.
I don't trust you.
So yeah, it's clear that Mario has a really good heart, and he feels really bad for like the stuff he said. I mean, it is the name of the game. Tommy kind of puts you up against each other. Like, nephew Tommy don't play no games on this show. Like, what he really is trying to get to the end of the show, he's really trying to get as many people voted off as he can that will help people have good connections.
How you doing, bro?
I don't know, man. I really don't know how to feel, man. This process is, I mean, I'm sure it's been tough for us all.
Sometimes how one simple word can come across like a left hook with your guard down.
I agree.
I know I messed up. Jessica's hurt because of how I expressed who she is perceived to be. I don't feel that she's combative.
I know she kind of feels attacked in that
Standing
manner.
in the back.
Yeah.
Showing you enough empathy and immediately asking you how you felt, and I really should have. My choice of words was bad.
I thought it was extremely off-putting. It was unnecessary. And I don't even understand where that came from.
Yeah.
I ain't gotten into no arguments with nobody since I've been here. I ain't raised my voice. I showed up, I've been respectful. I've not done any of those things that the technical definition of combative is.
Yeah.
And then you get up there and do the same, like, come on, man, for real. And the thing what's interesting about that is when people put labels like that on Black women, it sticks even longer. So now you're trying to spend all this time undoing something that's not even me at my core.
You're not.
There's nothing else I can do about it. I can just lay it on the altar and hope and pray that people see me for who I truly am and not this.
By the way, I love this heart-to-heart with Marie and Jessica. Marie stood up and was the man that Chris should have been, which was, like he said, giving empathy to the situation. Like, telling her, you know, maybe I came off a little harsh. Like, you can send someone home without causing an argument or bringing up, you know, like something wrong. But when something needs to be said, and if something is the truth, then you kind of just gotta say it. And he just said it is what it is. And I almost would have rather liked it if instead of him saying a lot of the guys feel like you're combative, he should have just been like, Chris thinks you're combative and that's why you're going home, because it's your main connection right now, and that's just kind of what it is. It wasn't like really like Jessica and Mario like really weren't a thing. So even if he was to be like, hey, like Chris thinks you're combative and also mean your connection isn't as strong, I would have rather him go that route instead of being like, oh, the guys just think like you're like really combative, because the guys didn't think that.
You didn't deserve that.
I mean, I don't have any ill will towards you. I'm not going to be nasty to you. I just think we just need to, you know, keep it pushing. It is refreshing to hear his perspective, but I'm still pissed right now. In my heart of hearts, knowing what I know that's not how Maurier feels. He got that verbiage from somebody else. But right now, as a Black woman, I am not taking care of anyone else at this time but Jessica.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Maybe they probably may have agreed just to kind of like be cool with the boys in the house, but what does Philip have to agree with that for? He's so worried about Aries or like whatever. So yeah.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Ooh. Ooh, that was good. I think you can actually instruct somebody now. Like, seriously.
I probably could. All right, let's see. Ooh.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is feelings, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I really wasn't like doing all.
Sure, you doing the right thing. With Aries saying that she wanted to make the right decision, it does weigh on me because I know her and Phil is a good connection, but I think for the life that Aries want, I would be more of a fit. I need to start shooting my arrows, so I hit my target. All right, let's get out of here. We'll leave these here.
All right.
I'm glad you had fun.
You got all the analogies. Chris says that he's ready to be intentional, and I start noticing that he is communicating more.
How long you gotta put this right here? You know I'm extra.
I know. I hope that he is ready. I think that's still like a question mark in my mind about how serious he is, like to actually push the needle forward. I guess time will tell.
Okay, I was shocked. I was shocked to see Chris and, Jessica like having, or not Jessica, Chris and Aries having like this like little archery date. Cause I don't know, like, I just think it's so cool because you see the maturity in Philip, maybe, that you just don't see in Janelle. Because Janelle's just kind of like, that don't matter. That's my man. And, like, quit. And then, like, Philip's just like, all right, whatever. It's a dating show. Like, go see your little connection with Chris and see if it's real. Like, whatever,
What y'all got going over here, man?
Hey, Marie, man, come help us out, man.
And what kind of bait we got over here?
What's going on?
Nothing.
Y'all looking lost.
Look off.
Y'all
We
just
ain't gonna
missed
get
it.
fed.
But we
These
just caught
lines
a
tangled
20
up.
pounder.
It got tangled.
You ain't even got no bait. Is that little thing
You
supposed to be
ain't
bait? It ain't looking good for us.
It's looking struggle bus, okay?
Where them scissors at? That was the man who...
Don't worry, Quentin, I'll fish it out.
Your title got to be revoked until you redeem yourself from that ride in the water.
Watch out, Phil.
See?
Going on?
That's funny, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to hook a connection.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good job.
Yeah, all y'all talking trash.
It's a goldfish.
All y'all talking trash.
We ain't say you couldn't do it. We just say you wasn't doing it.
Quentin, he came back and ended up catching a fish. Your comeback game needs to be strong. It's okay if you don't start out well, but win in the end. That's what's important.
Phil, take that off.
No.
He can't take it out. Let me see if I can get it out.
It's your fish.
Don't move. Okay, sir. I'm gonna try to free you.
Babe! You just caught a fish?
You already know.
You better do your thing.
You already know how I do. I'm coming over here now.
We eating good tonight.
We eating good tonight.
All right.
Janelle has a tight grip on Quentin at this house, and I know that Quentin struggles to balance his time and effort between his two connections.
I'm trying to get dinner for you.
So, Quentin, you better step it up because it's looking a little blurry for us.
So back to the fishing, like, Jessica, slid her way in there, and it's clear who she kind of was aiming towards, because Quentin didn't really know what he was doing, so she kind of wanted to be like the, those, like, in those movies whenever, like, the girl doesn't know how to play tennis, so the guy, like, comes behind her and, like, holds her hand and, like, shows her, like, how to hit, and he's getting all close up on her, and then it's, like, a thing. Yeah, it's kind of, like, low-key what she was doing with Quentin with the whole fishing thing, because it was, like, she was like, oh, my God, you caught a fish, and just, like, she came and, like, pushed her boobs in the air, and she was taking the fish off for him because he's allergic to seafood, so she kind of, like, helped him out, and I thought it was fine, like, this is a competitive dating show, like, you want to get your connections out and see who you're connecting with as much as possible, and for whatever reason, if Quentin's not 100% sure with Janelle, like, he needs it out. I think it's kind of funny whenever Katarina, when she was like, Quentin, get out when he still can, or like, blink twice if you need help. Like, I thought that was funny. So then, like, she just kind of slid her way in there, and Quentin was just kind of like vibing with it. Then all of a sudden you hear Janelle again, just like she popped up on Katarina for the whole, like, why are you out here naked, So Janelle's like, babe, like just very like motherly. She has this very like mommying vibe, but like I don't know if y'all know what I mean, but it's just like a guy can have that vibe too, like very like daddy. So it's like, it's not like zaddy, it's like dad, okay, whatever, I'll call you back when I'm done with my friends. Like it's annoying. It's like constantly watching you. Like we get, as women, we try to keep tabs on our men, so I mean that's normal, but we all know that it's a turn off to them, like it is. And so she was yelling out to him, and he was like, and you could see his uneasiness too. He's just kind of like, yeah, oh yeah, babe, oh yeah. And I just think Jessica's face was so, oh, this girl again. Like it's so far as her man, girl, like I don't know what to tell you. So then, you know, she's like, you catching fish for us? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be right over there. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like he instantly knows that if I stay here and talk to Jessica for too long, like I'm not gonna hear the end of it.
Sweet. The beauty you have within your heart shines so bright, and I see it all the time. You know, just how you move. So you've talked to me and opened my eyes up in so many different ways, and I'm so grateful for that. So if you want to open your gift.
Oh, these are so cute. My goodness, I love it. Okay, Chris, I see you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy you
I
enjoyed
appreciate it. What I love even more than these sandals is the message.
He just does a lot of stuff that's very like performative, and it's fine. I mean, who doesn't want a guy to spoil you with sandals? Like, but I don't know. It just kind of seemed like he was just trying to do anything he could to like stay on the show, because maybe like with the, what do you call it, deliberation, whatever, like when they talked to Tommy, maybe when the girls kept saying, oh, Chris, we're mad at Chris, like, because, oh, so some people in the comments were like, oh, I think that Janelle is just trying to like put Chris under the bus because she wants people to make sure that they keep Quentin on the show, which, yeah, it's the name of the game. So I guess I could kind of see like where that makes sense, you know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, like watching that clip, she seemed very happy with the sandals, but it also seemed like she was still just kind of like, oh, thanks, you know. But in my head, I'm still wanting Quentin to like pick me up and twist me around. But yeah, thank you so much. Like she.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I wonder what's going through your brain.
Why?
Because you always thinking.
I am.
And overthinking.
But sometimes it's necessary.
There are some things that Phil and I have talked about that has led me to question his stability and what he's doing. Like, he has a lot of ventures.
I used to run a cleaning company and got out of that like, let me just go ahead and do this 9-to-5 thing until I figure something else out.
So I'm like, what does that look like? What do we have that can sustain us more than just smiling and flirting?
So it's kind of crazy because when Aries went on the date with Philip, it kind of seemed like that whole concern that Chris was having, like, oh, like I can give you a better life kind of thing. It kind of seemed like that kind of popped up on their date, like, because then, you know, you could kind of see how she was like, well, you know, what does that look like for us? Like, what does our life look like?
All right, so we're getting to a place where you got to figure out everybody's true intentions. So I encourage y'all, stay on the path. Everything gonna reveal itself in time. But speaking of intentions, I want to hear who your top connections are. All right, Janelle?
Quentin, of course.
Quentin?
Yes, we had a great weekend.
Stronger bond?
Absolutely. He's very thoughtful. He listens, he takes it in, he accepts me for who I am, and I really appreciate that. We just flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Lee,
So like throughout this journey, Quentin had been in my top spot, but I feel like it was an uncomfortable space for us to try to get time together on the getaway, because it was like, this my man.
That's right. If that is the vibe that she got, then I hope that she received that vibe, because I'm not sharing my man.
But Chris definitely showed up in a major way. He bought me some sandals.
Okay.
So I appreciate the effort, and I thought that was sweet.
Anybody else get some shoes? No? You only one got some shoes? Right.
Don't be messy, Tommy.
I'm just asking. Katarina.
Again, I think a lot of the girls pick up on Janelle's like mean girl vibe, and I think they just want to like dish it back to her. So I think like with Jessica kind of like going after Quentin, it's just kind of like a battle of forces in the house, because she's like, man, like you're not just gonna sit here and bully us into like not even trying to get like a chance with Quentin or anything like that. And I think like Katarina is just so over Janelle being just like so rude, and I think she was like, you know what, Quentin needs to go home. Like that was definitely, you know, which Quentin doesn't give her the time of the day, because I mean he's kind of stuck, but that's kind of like the motive from, you know, Kat kind of like being like, Quentin needs to go home. Also, baby, Jessica is not letting up. Like she is like, I didn't really get a chance to do anything with Quentin, because it's kind of like, that's my man, and that's what it is, and like they're not feeling it. And Janelle, she just always has that like just bitchy vibe where it's just like, oh yeah, me and Quentin are so great, yeah, like he's just so thoughtful, like he's just all about me, like he ain't worried about these girls, you know, like it's just that whole attitude and that whole like aura about the situation. I think that's what's frustrating the girls, because it's just like every time the girls get catty with each other, Janelle's involved, and you know, like Jessica came for what's her name? What is her name? God, what the okay, I just realized I made the biggest mistake. A lot of the times when I was talking about Jessica, I meant
Chris has been rising to the top as well, and us trying to figure that space out. And then my other starting to rise connection, I'd say, would be Marie. It just kind of took off out of nowhere. We just have really great communication.
Okay. Jessica.
Still Jessica and Marie over here.
Okay. Did the bond get stronger at the house?
Me and Marie gonna be all right. Me and Marie is like locked in. We understand each other. We get each other. Me and Marie are solid.
All right, ladies. We are now at the time where I need y'all to think long and hard about what I'm about to ask you. You guys have had a chance to date everybody, mingle, even sleep up under the same roof. But now, I need to know which of these men just isn't ready to love.
Chris, he has very visible character flaws that I do not agree with.
Jessica, is this coming from the deliberation and
The language.
and
It was the
language
language.
and you trying to figure out where it came from?
When that came out, I knew Marie didn't say that. Marie has not had that experience with me. The one person who I have had these disagreements with has been Chris. And the word combative was used on the date with his ex. I knew exactly where it came from.
He told me he did not say that.
He told me he didn't say it too.
You know, like he was just like, I never said she was combative. That's the one word he was like, I did not say that she was combative.
Because he's a liar.
But Marie said it out of his mouth. Regardless if he meant it or not, he didn't have to use that word. He could have said something else if he wanted to communicate whatever the other guys were saying.
The thing is, a coward would allow another man to stand here and take the fall for something that you said.
And not own up to it.
And not own up to it. It's just, he's unnecessary. And unfortunately, he can't buy me anything.
Yeah.
And that's the real gotcha.
Did he try to buy you something? Or is why are you using that as a, I'm very confused.
First, be very clear. This is not to you.
Okay. Because I'm
Again,
asking, like, if
sis-
he didn't try to buy you anything, then the reference is trying to shade me, and I'm trying to get it correct. I'm just getting clear.
So let me ask this question. Lee, with what I'm hearing, do you see any of these flaws? Have you seen any of those
That
flaws?
hasn't been my experience with Chris. If it had been, then of course he wouldn't be moving nowhere. He wouldn't be moving up. He would be moving.
And see, and like, this is how men get women caught up in stuff, because it's like, dude, like, because of your lie, there's women here who like really want to vouch for a guy when they really like want to stick up for them. And He's got all these girls whipped on his little wrist talking about some. He never said that. He never said that. Girls, if you could replay the tape, talk to the producers, he definitely called her combative. And I think it's just messed up that all he had to do was be honest about that, and those girls wouldn't have to pander to Chris to be like, oh no, he didn't say that. And Jessica was right. He is a liar. He's a liar. And that is a physical character flaw.
Not to cut you, but speaking of, to your point about experiences, Chris's ex words were, I wish that I had the Jessica that Morier has. Like, that's that shiftiness I don't like. If you rocking with Lee, rock with Lee. But don't come in her face and say these things and do this and then be saying slick stuff like that.
I don't understand what's slick about that comment. If he had a bad experience with you, it then shifted the position. I don't understand what's so slick about that. You're a great woman, but he didn't have a good experience.
I don't think these ladies are following, so I think
it ain't that hard to follow. I'm really trying to figure out, why are you even still looking at Chris's character? As he has been very clear, he is not interested in a connection with you. It's giving jealousy because she wishes they would have worked out.
Katarina.
For me, it would be Quentin. Quentin and I just never really spent any time together. We just never connected.
Aries.
Yes.
These connections.
Morier, just because he was leaning on his other stronger connections and I was leaning on mine.
I don't want to put Morier down there. I think we'll be friends forever, but we don't have the potential for a relationship.
Janelle.
Chris, at this point in the process, he has been the only person who has not been able to establish a stable connection. The only place where he had a connection was Jessica, and she disengaged. And then the lack of honesty and being forthcoming is a little bit challenging for me.
All right, I wouldn't want to be in y'all's shoes, that's for sure. But y'all know what's got to be done. Take these men out on dates and let one of them know that he is just not ready to love. That's it. We good? Right. Go buy my wife some sandals.
The great thing is that I feel I have 3 ladies that I'm strongly connected with, and it's 2 that I'm not. So the odds are in my favor, but you just never know.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me out. Really appreciate it.
Wow. We both can agree that we both said this is not a match, right?
Yeah, we definitely can agree to that.
So what was actually the disconnect to the issue that you had?
I told you I need a softer side. I just didn't see that for me. Someone else sees it for him, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be a situation where I'm bashing you when you're not there or you bashing me. You're not my person.
So,
verbiage. The word combative was very off-putting and extremely inappropriate.
we definitely feel that you are still ready to love.
For the room was that you're not ready to love.
I didn't call you combative. Whatever he said, that was on him. That came out of his words. So give me the same respect when I'm not around.
You clearly feel a way about something.
It ain't a something. Stop peddling around. We know what it is. Initially, you were my first connection until I realized how of a person you were, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, you are combative. You are a mean girl. You and Janelle both.
I think you're angry about some things that have nothing to do with me, and you assume that they do.
I'm not gonna just hold my tongue anymore because I'm trying to respect you as a woman, but you don't show me no respect.
You sure?
I'm a man first before I'm anything.
So at what point did you feel disrespected?
You don't know about me, so you and everything about you.
Chris has lost his entire mind, but if he wants to act a fool, he wants to scream and holler and cuss, that's fine. I'm glad that I actually saw the real Chris.
I think Jessica is just evil. For her to try to put me down, I just wasn't having it. Yeah, I could have used different words to address my feelings, but I don't feel bad at all about what happened.
But, you know, I still have a very much strong connection with you.
This is why you don't chase after the man, and this is why you don't this is why you just don't try to claim him in front of everybody, because they'll be the first to just, okay. let me go back to the one-on-ones in the end. So, you know, Marie and Aries' conversations were very lighthearted because it was just like, okay, Marie is he's really sweet, like so is Aries, so it was just kind of cute. It's like, okay, you're not that bad. You think you're in the friend zone, just like you thought about Sierra, but like you can see what's going on. You still ready to live, you know. I like the whole little dramatic pause they do. You are not the fuck. You are still ready to love. So anyway, so that happened, and so yeah, so Mari is good. He's staying home. Now to get to the juicy tea, right? The juicy tea. So then it was just like with Chris and Jessica, which is so messy on production. I mean, I guess the girls collectively were like, look, Jessica, you can do the letting down because it was you and him who had this big issue in this big situation. Jessica was like, oh, I don't really care that I was in the bottom two, but really it's gonna bother you, whoever you are, like, unless you just don't care to be on the show, or you don't care about the connections, or like you genuinely just don't vibe with anybody there, then of course you're not gonna care to get kicked off the show unless you just wanted to be on the show. But to be on the bottom two, I think it really bothered her. To which Chris was just like, still lying. Like, oh, I never called you combative. I never did anything and said that. To all of a sudden be like, you are combative. After he got told he was going home, the real side of him came out. You know, it was almost like he was keeping on this nice guy front, which really scares me about him. I see a lot of red flags in Chris. Very psychopath, very scary, very like double life-esque, like very fake. Like he would put up a certain vibe to make you stay, but then like in the back of his mind he's talking to someone else, or you know, he just seems scary to put your eggs in the basket too for. And she was right, the real Chris came out. And then I mean also like Jessica like does press on the issue, like because she knows he's a liar. She just wants him to be real, and I can't tell you how frustrating that is when a man straight up is a liar, or a woman, and you're talking to them about it and they're still lying about it. It's just like, it's so fake. And then once you catch them in their liar, they can't get what they want anymore, which is him going home. Then he wants to do the whole big give her the bird, F you, started cussing her out. I'm like, when I saw him do that, I was like, honestly, like I had to back up, pour some more wine, rewind it. I was like, okay, hold on. Let me sit here for this one really quick. Let me stop moving around. I need to see this. So I rewinded it and I watched it again. I just thought to myself, like, this is why women get hurt, and this is why it's hard to trust men, because you don't know what facade they're putting up to seem like they're a nice guy when they're really just not. And that's why he needs a girl with a softer side to listen, to not challenge him, because if they do dare challenge him, who knows? He could even get physical. Like, who knows? He would just blow up on you. And that whole situation, like, Lee needs to chill out. Like, she, oh my God. Speaking of Lee, so like at the ends, girl, Janelle, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's a turn off for a guy to be like feeling like stuck, or like they can't go out with the homies. Like, because Janelle gives me vibes like, oh, that's your friend, I don't like your friend, you can't go out with him. Or is there gonna be girls that where you're going, you can't go? Like, which is like, you know, it's just your style of whoever you want to be with. Some guys are cool with a girl who's clean, who's like very controlling. And I just think it's so wild that Quentin was like, yeah, I have a really strong connection with Janelle, but I have a connection with you too, which tells me that he's attracted to Lee physically, I think, because they really didn't get a chance to really click like that. But I think he's really cool with like her little easy vibe, and I think they have a sexual chemistry. I see a stronger sexual chemistry between Lee and Quentin, in my opinion, than I do see with Quentin and Janelle. And I just feel like that's because they just click. Like, they're the type of couple that could go on a run together, go like on a walk, like go mountain climbing, and like go on the outdoors, go fishing. Like, Lee just seems down for the ride, you know. And I just feel like Janelle's a kind of, there's just so much so much like, oh, okay, like, hey babe, let's go to the gym. Do we have to? Like, I just want to stay here and eat pizza. Or like, she just gives me vibes that like, he'll be like, babe, let's go rock climbing, and she'd be like, but the bugs, and I don't want to go. Like, I just feel like she just cramps his style. And even when she's like constantly monitoring him while she's on the show and having that tight leash, and it's making him feel like, man, like, this is kind of what I have to look forward to if I really get serious with her. And then whenever the family is meeting each other and stuff, and you see the part where the family is like, so, like, what do you think? And Janelle's just kind of like, I want a family right now. And it's like, that's a good thing to have, like, your standards. But I just feel like if you have to force the guy so much, which I'm on the situation too, where you're just like, sometimes, like, there's a lot of men who just know what they want. They know they want a baby. They know they want to be married. They know they want this stuff. And I just feel like, yeah, sometimes we can give them a push because it's fine. But after so many times, and this is the second guy that she's done this to, where it's like, I'm ready now, and you have to decide now. And like, she puts a lot of pressure on situations. I feel like everything with her is just really like high pressure. But again, like, you want to have standards, and so keep those standards, girl. But it's just, don't let them know all the time, and don't go about it so abrasively and high strung. And that's just my opinion on it. I could go on and on about it. But yeah, ending conclusion, I just feel like the best connection on the show, in my opinion, is Philip and Aries. But then you see how they're starting to get into it now, because finances break up couples, right? And so maybe she's just concerned about that a lot, because she's like, I don't want it to be like where you can't provide for us and then I get, frustrated or whatever. So then Philip is just like, oh, like, she's bringing it up and I'm getting pissed off now. And it's like, the true side is going to come out of someone. I believe that there's good and bad side of everybody, and it just depends on what side they let show. Chris's side is just very like disrespectful, lying, machismo, like that kind of thing. So I don't know, like, money always becomes an issue. But anyways, please please subscribe. I'll be watching this Friday again, and I'm gonna do another review a lot quicker, because I know, like, this is so late, like, it's a Sunday, but I just had more time today. I was working. So let me know your thoughts in the comment. Like, what do you think about my commentary? What do you think about this situation? And I mean, like, I feel like it's just a dating show. Like, it's just for our entertainment. It's not really like matches in heaven, it's really just kind of a gamble at this point. And it's also good publicity to get on a show and kind of like advertise your Instagram page, or like, because let's just be real, like, now they have a lot of Instagram followers because of the show, or like, I'm pretty sure, like, it's a show. So yeah, so let me know what y'all think. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you Friday.